Real Estate Exam Questions with Answers and Explanations, Part Number 11. What does the term constructive eviction refer to in a lease situation? A. The tenant breaks the lease early without penalty. B. The landlord locks the tenant out. C. The tenant is forced to leave due to uninhabitable conditions. D. The landlord legally removes a tenant. Correct answer, C. The tenant is forced to leave due to uninhabitable conditions. Constructive eviction occurs when a landlord fails to maintain the property, making it unlivable, which forces the tenant to leave. For example, the ceiling collapse and lack of heating led to constructive eviction when the tenant moved out. This means the landlord's failure to maintain made the property unlivable. What document typically itemizes estimated closing costs and is provided to the borrower early in the loan process? A. HUD-1 statement. B. Closing disclosure. C. Loan estimate. D. Mortgage note. Correct answer, C. Loan estimate. The loan estimate provides a breakdown of the loan terms and estimated costs, and it must be delivered within 3 business days of a loan application. For example, before finalizing the mortgage, she reviewed her loan estimate for all costs involved. This means she used the form to understand loan-related expenses early on. What does the term eminent domain give the government the right to do? A. Regulate property taxes. B. Acquire private land for public use. C. Force a foreclosure. D. Seize assets for unpaid utilities. Correct answer, B. Acquire private land for public use. Eminent domain permits government entities to take private property for public benefit, such as highways or schools, with just compensation. For example, the government used eminent domain to expand the airport, offering payment to affected homeowners. This means private land was lawfully taken for a public project. In which of the following scenarios would a buyer most likely receive a quitclaim deed? A. During a foreclosure sale. B. When clearing up title issues between family members. C. When purchasing from a bank. D. During a traditional property sale. Correct answer, B. When clearing up title issues between family members. Quitclaim deeds transfer any interest the grantor has without warranties, often used between people who know each other. For example, she signed a quitclaim deed to transfer her share of the home to her brother during a family estate settlement. This means ownership was passed with no guarantees of title. What does the term variance refer to in zoning laws? A. A change in property ownership. B. A temporary business permit. C. Permission to deviate from current zoning regulations. D. A zoning violation report. Correct answer, C. Permission to deviate from current zoning regulations. A variance is granted to allow a property owner to use the land in a way that differs from local zoning rules, usually for unique circumstances. For example, the homeowner received a variance to build closer to the lot line than typically allowed. This means the zoning board gave special permission. What does tenancy in common allow co-owners to do that other forms may not? A. Avoid taxes on the property. B. Divide the property physically. C. Own unequal shares. D. Automatically inherit each other's shares. Correct answer, C. Own unequal shares. In tenancy in common, multiple owners can have different ownership percentages, and there's no right of survivorship. For example, one co-owner held 70% and the other 30% under a tenancy in common arrangement. This means they didn't have equal shares or automatic inheritance rights. What is the main purpose of a property disclosure statement? A. To list closing costs. B. To explain financing options. C. To inform buyers of known property defects. D. To estimate market value. Correct answer, C, to inform buyers of known property defects. A property disclosure statement helps protect buyers by revealing known issues like roof damage, water leaks, or electrical problems. For example, the seller disclosed a past basement flood on the property disclosure form. This means the buyer was informed of a known defect before purchase. What kind of lease increases rent automatically over set periods? A. Percentage lease. B. Fixed lease. C. Net lease. D. Graduated lease. Correct answer, D. Graduated lease. A graduated lease includes scheduled rent increases, often tied to inflation or pre-agreed amounts over time. For example, her commercial lease included a clause for rent to rise by 3% each year, known as a graduated lease. This means rent increases were planned in advance. When two or more people take title to property with right of survivorship, what form of ownership are they using? A. Tenancy in common. B. Joint tenancy. C. Community property. D. Estate in severalty. Correct answer, B. Joint tenancy. Joint tenancy includes the right of survivorship, meaning when one owner dies, their share automatically passes to the other owners. For example, when one joint tenant passed away, the other became the sole owner without probate. This means ownership transferred automatically due to survivorship. A seller who accepts an offer but includes a time is of the essence clause is most likely emphasizing what? A. The buyer must provide a larger deposit. B. Financing must be pre-approved. C. All contract dates are strictly enforceable. D. The property must be sold as is. Correct answer, C. All contract dates are strictly enforceable. Time is of the essence means the deadlines in the contract are binding, and delays may result in breach of contract. For example, the contract's time is of the essence clause meant the buyer had to close by Friday or lose the deal. This means every timeline must be met exactly.